So it's Monday morning here at Maniki Rock Art, and the first job of the week is making a cast of the Tarbat wreath-boss. Now this was a project that we've just finished, a wonderful project with Dr Cynthia Thickpenny as part of her postdoctoral research. We recreated the ultimate example of transmutation in pigfish art. Now this is the original stone carving. Now it's very, very heavy. Took a long time to create, but I want to produce some copies of this as close to the original as I can, but this is about 25 kilograms, so I'm not going to hang that on the wall. So instead, I've made a silicone mould, very, very heavy silicone mould, because I want to use this again and again. There's a couple of £100 worth of silicone in this, but it's very, very good casting medium. So hopefully today I'm going to be able to make a really good cast in something called Jesmonite, which sounds a bit like a 70s soul band, but it's actually a mixture of 1 part liquid resin and a ceramic powder. It makes a really hard cast, like it's hard as stone. I've been making a couple of plaster casts in here to practice. Plaster is nice and easy, but it's very soft. It won't last the way that Jesmonite will. So I'm going to give that a go today. I've warmed up the workshop. I've got the fire on. We need a nice working temperature because I've got about 5 to 10 minutes of working time once I make up the mixture to get it into the cast. So let's see how we get on. So I've mixed up the Jesmonite. You've got to be really quick with this stuff because you've only got about 5 to 10 minutes working time. So mixed it up. I've hopefully got rid of most of the worst of the lumps. I'm just going to pour it in. It's really, really satisfying chucking all this in. So that's about 3 kilograms of the mixed up Jesmonite. I'll just pour the rest of that in there. Now I know I've got slightly too much mixed, which means I don't have to panic and get it all out of the bucket. I can leave some of that in there for the cleanup. So I'll put that aside and grab myself a brush and just start working the mix into all the nooks and crannies of the mould. This is really, really important because I don't want any air bubbles in here taken away from the detail on the design. I'll get right into these bosses. And the other thing that the brush is doing is all those little pockets, those little lumps of powder in the mix, is breaking them up at the surface. So at what will be the surface of the plaque in the end. So I get into all of it, work it through. You can actually feel it starting to thicken. Like I say, you only get 5 to 10 minutes with this stuff, so you've got to work relatively quickly, but as with all these things, the best thing to do is not to panic. So this is the fun bit. This is now been curing for about 30 minutes. It's still warm to the touch and lots of bubbles on the surface, but that's okay. Bubbles on the surface mean there's fewer bubbles in the mix. So let's just crack it out of the mould. Oh, it's deeply satisfying to give it a good crack in the silicone mould. So that's released it all the way around, and then I should be able to get hold of it and just lift it out of the mould and see how we've done. And there we are. Absolutely beautiful. Details all there. The texture of it is fantastic. So I'm just going to put it on the curing rack there. Move this out of the way. Then we can have a proper look at it. And there we are. All the details there. The surface is good. I don't see any evidence of bubbles or lumps or any of that stuff. So, and this is the finished article up on the wall, secured with a French cleat. So that's the mounting mechanism screwed at the plaster, and it just hooks nicely onto the wall. So there we have it, the Tarbat wreath-boss TR7 cast in Jesmonite.